Talking about trade agreements, Colombia currently has 17 with European Union, USA, and Pacific Alliance. Since 2006, USA represents at least 25 or 27% of our exports. Since 2013, European Union represents at least 14%. And since 2015, Pacific Alliance represents at least 9%. The main products that Colombia exports are crude petroleum, bananas, coffee, gold, and flowers. On the other hand, the main products that Colombia imports are crude oil, drugs, yellow corn, and pharmaceutical products.
The year starts with a decree from October 7, 1821, which is the creation of the Secretaries of State, where it was the Foreign Affairs Secretary. Our first chancellor was Pedro Wall, and one of the first antecedents we got about the international relations was the separation of Panama in 1903, which included, of course, the participation of the US. In 1914, we signed a treaty which resulted in a reparation from the US to us for the damage related to the separation of Panama. Between 1918 and 1921, we applied another doctrine called Look Northward to orient our foreign policy towards the US. Since 1940, Colombia has had an active participation in the international relations, participating in creation of international organizations such as the Inter-American Treaty of Reciprocal Assistance, the Organization of American States, also in summits that gave rise to the United Nations, and almost in 1970 the President opened relations with other states in the world that included also multilateral organizations. As we've seen, Colombia has always had strong relations with the North American nation, and absolutely it has opened a lot of doors towards another countries.
And now we're going to talk about the frontier agreements Colombia has set for 2024. And we got to say they're very important because they're not just talking about borders, they're also really helpful for trades, cultural exchanges, and economic strategies that can affect businesses worldwide. Colombia has been very proactive establishing robust frontier agreements, especially with our neighbors. This aiming to forest trade, ensure security, and also promote sustainable development. For 2024, the focus is on enhancing economic integration, especially in regions bordering Venezuela, Ecuador, Peru, and Brazil. All these agreements will facilitate smoother trade flows, reduce tariffs, and encourage cross-border investments. This is opening a multitude of opportunities for international business.
One of the wars Colombia was involved in was the war with Peru in the 1832. Peru initiated the conflict by the invading Leticia via the Amazon River, delivering superior military strength tripled that of the Colombian forces, which was a big advantage for the Peru. In response to the attack, Colombia rallied reposing commercial ships for war and the mobilizations 6,000 volunteers. This the sixth reaction gave rise to the Infanteria de María and ultimately late victory, parenting the loss of the Amazon.
Hi, I'm talking about of Colombia relation with international governmental organization. All with the sigla is IGOS. 1. In the brief introduction, start by saying that Colombia keeps a strong relation with many international governmental organizations, showing its committed and international cooperation, sustainability development, and the world base. Second, the participation in the regional organizations. The highlight Colombia active membership in the Organization of American States, or sigla is OAS, the animate at strengthen its democracy, security, and development across in the Americas. And maintain its role in the Pacific Alliance and regional integration, inactive with Chile, Mexico, and Peru, focused on both economic growth and competition. Three, the collaboration in World Organization, talking about Colombia involvement in the United Nations, contribute to peace, mission, and support sustainably development goals. Include its relationship with the World Bank and International Monetary Fund, through which Colombia seeks final support and dives for the volunteer project.
Now I'm going to talk about the economic agreement that Colombia has made over its history to strengthen its position internationally and promote the country's economic development. So first, the bilateral trade agreement, but for the economic part. We have two parts: agreement with the neighboring countries Ecuador, Venezuela, and Peru, and the second part, agreement with the United States. The signing of the Free Trade Agreement (FTA) with the United States in 2012 has been one of the most important. The second, multilateral agreements. We have two. The first one, Pacific Alliance. Colombia is a founding member of the Pacific Alliance, along with Chile, Mexico, and Peru. This economic bloc aims to promote regional integration and facilitate trade. And the second one, Mercosur. Although Colombia is not a full member of Mercosur, it has maintained trade relations with the economic bloc consistent with Argentina, Brazil, Paraguay, and Uruguay. These agreements have allowed for the greater economic integration with the countries in the South American region. And now, for finish, the regional cooperation agreements. The first one, Indian Community of Nations, CAN, along with Bolivia, Ecuador, and Peru. Colombia is part of the CAN. And the second one, the Association of the Caribbean States. Colombia participates in this association for seeks to promote the sustainable development in the Caribbean and cooperation in areas such as trade, tourism, and environmental protection.